The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to another edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble but lovable and squeezable host, David White. This is December 31st, New Year's Eve, at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing, TFNN.com. As always, you can catch me remotely on TFNN.mobi, or you can catch us on Tiger TV on TFNN.com. And you can catch us on radio stations around the country. So, what is it? Big, bad, and nationwide. So, I'm having a nice kind of day here. If you are watching Tiger TV, I've got probably the most lovable drunk I think that there ever was. And he was on, if you've ever watched Mayberry and Mayberry RFD, you had the lovable drunk, and he just knew he was drunk. He got the keys. He went into the cell. Unlocked the cell. Well, then he got in it. He laid down. But Otis, the lovable drunk, he was, at least he knew he was drunk. Got off the road, went into the cell by himself. Just remember, if you get stopped tonight, you always have to tell them that, officer, I was too drunk to walk, so I had to drive. Don't know if that'll work, but at least you got something to spout out. It'd be better off than standing there just stupid. But, of course, no one wants you to drink and drive. I get off the streets very early. It is amateur night, and not a good time to be out there drinking. In our neck of the woods, my girlfriend always likes to go to these first night parties, and we're going to go down to one in St. Petersburg down at the pier. They always have some good stuff. We try to head on out of there before it gets too late. Of course, at midnight, all the drunks do come out the door, no matter how much we speak about it. So just be safe, and just be safe and not sorry tomorrow. And, of course, cops are out everywhere. But just remember, Otis the drunk was smart enough to know that he was drunk. So catch a cab, or just check yourself into the cell yourself. Of course, just getting done. A very vocal audience in the den today, talking about our wonderful president talking about the fiscal cliff and saying there's a real quick deal coming up here, and maybe we'll get it, but we're close, but nothing signed yet, but we're close. Always reminded me, and there was a great Mel Brooks movie, High Anxiety, making fun of all the Alfred Hitchcock movies. They had a little short guy in there that's all of about 5'2". They give him this giant wooden cedar steamer trunk to hold, and he's going, I got it, I got it, I got it. I ain't got it. I got it, got it, got it, got it. I ain't got it. And I wish I would have. Of course, I didn't get to listen to the president's speech before we started, but I would have tried to get that sound clip and play it. Because that's basically it. I got it, I got it, I got it, and got it. And what we have is we've got socialists on one side that believe that, just put in any kind of thing. Let's say in the future everybody blame the Jews or the Chinese or the blacks, and just put rich in there now, because that's, you've got to turn one segment of a nation against its other to really rile things up. It's part of all kinds of subservient governments. You've got to get everybody angered at one side. For the Nazis, it was get everybody getting up against the Jews and the gypsies and everything else. Now the populist view is to go after people that have any more money than you. His balanced approach is basically, in my opinion, unbalanced. But if you believe in socialism, even though 6,000 years of history has showed it's failed every time. You just believe, and kind of reminded me of the guy. I can't even say it now because it's politically incorrect. But it was a Polish person who went to the movie theater. He's sitting there next to his buddy, and his buddy leans over and he goes, "I bet this guy, he rides that horse all the way down into that valley, and there's only one tree there. I think he runs right into that tree and falls off his horse." And the Polish guy says, "Okay, I'll bet you." So a guy rides his horse all the way down, hits the tree and falls off. And one guy says, well, I can't really take your money. I'd already seen this movie before. And the other guy says, "Yeah, I know, but I didn't think he was stupid enough to do it twice." That's kind of the way I feel out here, is that I think they think if they say they've got a deal, it's going to be it. But whether it's socialism or anything else, I think they just think if they will it, it will happen. Unfortunately, at least it's my belief that people are interested in their own self-interest. They don't want to get up every day out of bed and kick ass and take names like America always has, if they figure all they're doing is giving it away to people laying in bed. Now, that may be not the total story out there, but as long as you make them evil, I'll guarantee you they are the goose that laid the golden egg. All we need to do is have a few more people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, lay in bed all day instead of get out and kick ass and take names, and we'll be the country we deserve, which is not one that I think most people would want to live in. But I don't know, socialism, the equal distribution of misery, capitalism, the unequal distribution of assets, and everybody always believes it's not fair. Unfortunately, or really fortunately, there is a nice little thing called the Constitution, and nowhere in it does it say something is fair, because it depends on who you're talking to, what fair is. That's why there's no fair. There's only just and unjust. And once you start telling people what is fair, you know that they're coming for you, whether it's anything. Anyway, on Friday night show with Tom O'Brien, I had the most comments on my email. If you want to email, you can always email me at path@tfnn.com. We were having a little discussion about whether we lived in America. My big problem is that everybody's, in my opinion, using the Constitution as toilet paper. My goal this year is to actually make toilet paper with the Constitution printed on it, so people that are actually doing it can actually do it. When they wipe their rear end with the Constitution, I want to be able to send them a roll of toilet paper so they can actually do it. The reason that I bring this up is we have a gentleman out here who is the Columbia law professor. He's basically says, the Constitution says that, but wonder why white dead men who thought it was fine to own slaves should get to decide the fate of our congressional negotiations. What was his name here? It's Seidman. Basically, we got a person in the Supreme Court that thinks our Constitution's horrible. She says that we should get the one written by South Africa, written by communists. It's very tough. These guys were pretty smart. They all got in a big room and they argued everything for years. And what was it? 1776 to 1886. It took them about 10 years to figure it out. They argued off all the stuff, and like a good market, the good ideas won out. The bad ideas over time did not. We didn't make Washington our king. And there's a lot of people, if you're a socialist, you can't live with a strict interpretation of the Constitution because, you got right to free speech? Well, we can't have that. You're rich. You don't deserve to speak. Right to arms? Hey, we can't push you into some servitude if you can shoot back. All those rights were thought of long and hard before they put them in there. And anyway, I appreciate all the comments that I got from Friday night show with Tom. As always, we've got a ton of constitutions here. If you email Leanna That's Leanna at tfnn.com. She will be glad to send you a Constitution if you don't have a copy of it. I would recommend that you go back and read it. And then feminine cleaning device of the weeks, like this Seedman, who wonder why it would just be much better if there was no Constitution. Frankly, he ought to be glad there's a Constitution, because if I was running the thing, he'd be down in Gitmo right now. Anybody that, and that's why the Constitution's there, is to protect you from people like me. Because I tell you what, if you went a little commie on me, I'd be sending you down to Gitmo in no trouble, no time at all. You'd be on the next flight down there, little commies. Anyway, I hope you all having a wonderful and safe day out here. Market kind of came off, was a high of 417, or 418 almost. Printing off about 413 today. Everybody, there's a deal. Everybody, there's a deal. There's a deal. There's a deal. What can you say? 413, we're up 10 points. Could it be just a little oversold? I saw 1408, excuse me, on the S&P cash. We went below it. We closed below it. Was there a lot of volume? No. So we're going to get a little ripples. I think as soon as we get a deal, whatever it is, the next thing is going to go to the debt limit. And at that point, I think some House Republicans are going to start saying it's time to start cutting. And whether that deal comes in tonight or comes in later, they aren't going to just be able to railroad these guys like they did before. So we'll look at it. The NASDAQ is under 3,000 still, even up being a percent, 1.1%. We'll be watching this. Volume's a little over 2.1 billion shares at 18 after the hour. So, we got an hour and 40 minutes left to trade. Some fairly decent volume for the last day of the week. Friday was fairly decent volume. Normally these are very quiet days with very little volatility. We were down to 1398, so what do we've got? 1417. 20-point move intraday range back to the middle of it. Be real interesting to see whether we continue to close about or above 1408. I see the big hand of little Timmy Geithner in a lot of this every morning. Someone comes in and they start pushing the futures every morning. And eventually the problem comes out that they can shovel for so long. I heard the description that you can only make straw into gold, weave straw into gold so long, and then that's going to be over. And I think we're getting awful close to that point right now. Decent pullback in the market would let me get long, so I'm more than happy to do that. Also, the belief that we've got some kind of grand deal out here, even a kick-the-can deal out of here, I think is highly optimistic. We will be back right after this short time out. In the meantime, call me at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. And tell me why I'm all wet. But we're going to get into some charts, start seeing what we've got coming for the next year.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's just another manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday. That's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday.
Oh, it was the Bangles, right? And I kind of like them. I had a friend up north that used to manage them. At least that's what he told me. I always wondered. Of course, I never ran into her. But boy, she was a little tiny fox. She was all of about 5 foot tall, 5'2" or something. The lead singer. I forget her name now. But 20. What is it? About mid 80, 85. So she's got to be probably about 45, 46. I saw her on TV a couple weeks ago. Still, just a beautiful girl. But all of about 100 pounds. But I always like those songs, Walk Like Egyptian, Manic Monday. I wonder if it's a little manic out here. I think so. I think maybe the whole fiscal cliff could be summed up with I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Maybe that will be the one that we'll be playing on what's it on? I gotta log in here. Maybe that's what we'll be playing on Monday when we come back if this thing doesn't work out. We got 14.15 on the S&P cash, so they're pushing it right back up again. Everybody, there's got to be a deal, got to be a deal. I don't know how many times they've pulled the little thing away from me. Kind of like the trick that I used to play in high school. I had my friend's dad was a practical joker. He taught me how to put a fishing line on a dollar bill. I'd throw it out in the hall. Anybody that was cruising out there would reach down to pick it up, and I'd yank on the string. We were talking about a little bit about Peanuts and Lucy pulling it away just when the Mr. Peanut himself, Charlie Brown, would go to kick the football. Somehow I have a feeling we're going to have that all over again. But we are going to be good. Somebody put a link in the den for me. I'm trying to remember her name because I heard a good interview from her just maybe about 2 months ago. But what was her name? Susanna Hoff. Oh, what a beautiful gal out there. But she was, they kind of had several careers. One with all about the kind of little girls that used to follow them after they did that walk like an Egyptian. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff ahead of us. This is not the fiscal cliff, it's just part of it. We've got Iran and Israel that could blow up any time with nuclear weapons. Probably more to the point, river closings on Wednesday. When we get back from the new year, the decision to close the Mississippi River is going to come. Probably going to be a lot of trades for at least the rails and the rail companies out here. If they close that river, it's about, I think, about 6 times cheaper to put, let's say, like coal on a river barge and send it up on a barge than even put it on a train. And we'll probably see a lot of movement into the train if we haven't seen it already. Of course, we've got the fiscal cliff issue. When that's solved, we've got the debt limits if they don't put this whole thing together. We've got China starting to unwind a little bit with these wealth generational funds. Debt downgrades, probably as soon as this thing does get solved, whenever it does, look for the S&P and Moody's to downgrade our debt almost instantly, because apparently we're nowhere close to the $4.5 trillion over the next 10 years that they want us to cut. And I've been keeping an eye on this, and it's China's stocks getting delisted. We've talked about it a little bit out here. It was just a little bit kind of nuts out here that he, that they've given him a date. I can't find any. There's no follow-up articles, nothing out there. The news on this China stocks getting delisted has kind of gone into the ether. I did see one article on Friday that talked about today being the last day that they could actually give up on getting the documents. So just be very wary of having any Chinese stocks over the next few days until we get some kind of actual confirmation that that whole thing is over. Again, there's 4 of the major accounting firms also that might be just weird, let me put it that way. And you could wake up and find those stocks delisted the next day if things get nasty between the United States and China. But still refusing to give us the paperwork that American firms have to have. And of course, you got to know that China is ripe with fraud out here on their stocks. Anyway, not a whole lot more volume here. 2.2 billion shares. 415, up 13 points on the SB Cash.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we're going to start looking at some stocks. February gold rose to $20.20 today to $16.76 an ounce. And March silver, 28 cents higher, $30.25 an ounce. Copper rose 6 cents to $3.65 an ounce. Kind of looking at commodities out here. Cliffs Natural Resources, kind of a little bump. They basically got at least pinned a deal with the Chinese at the very low end of the price range for iron ore. They've had a ton of iron ore, at least the Chinese have, on their docks. It's just been piling up for months. They must have probably gone through a little bit of it. But I guess things were so horrible the way they looked at it. Things could only be going up here for Cliffs over the last few days. They are in what should be heavy resistance now on the way down. There were 3 big volume days, early, about that, back on the 26th of October, 25th and 20th, pretty decent volume days, and almost around 15 million shares. We're probably only going to get about 8 million probably by the end of the day in Cliffs. So going to be a good 50% off as we come into this big line of support in stocks out here. So not going to be anything a lot new, let me put it that way. So we'll keep an eye on it. Anyway, Cliffs up a couple of bucks out here, but is it a big deal? I think it just has to do with a lot of shorts out here in the marketplace and everybody waiting. But I think we probably, we're probably just waiting on additional news. I did write in my newsletter today that I thought that the high-frequency trading machines would be super warmed up today by the end of the day and moving this market. And, of course, a lot of people thinking that they had this on Friday when the market closed off about 20 points. From the close of the market to the close of the futures between 4 and 4:15 Friday afternoon. If those numbers were right, we would have opened up about 330 points lower on the Dow and about 40 points on the S&P. Of course, we didn't get that. Pretty soon, very early this morning, before they even started negotiating, saw a big push into this market to get the futures up. About 8 o'clock this morning, they didn't even show up to start negotiating at 10, which makes me think that it was a Treasury push, just like they've been coming in almost every morning with the futures down, and they start pushing this market yet again today. And just eventually it's going to break. So we'll have to take a look at it. Anyway, I wanted to look at a few stocks real quick and see what the biggest movers in the, if we can get back here, biggest movers in the NASDAQ here. And not a whole lot, mostly on the positive side. On the short side, Netflix is up 3.6% at $92.59. Of course, the proverbial Sears Holding, what a football out here, SHLD, $40, I'm about 41 bucks. Fossil, another one up $3. I want to look at that one because that has been a interesting stock. This thing is very nice. It reminds me so much of Apollo a couple years back. If you look at it, I'll bring it up here in a minute, but not a bad looking chart out here. If you think about getting short, nice big high volume gap to come back and fill it. Probably would have liked to have seen this thing pop up on lighter volume, but when you look at the greater context with this huge volume day down on 5/8, this thing's still probably going to come down and test that $70 range fairly soon. But just don't see that many people out here still wearing wristwatches. But I've been waiting for this one. Oh, I wanted a POL. See if we can get back. Maybe I need to go back 2 years and look at this thing. Is that it? Yeah, maybe it was longer. Oh, here it is right here. This thing broke, and probably a fairly good indication. What I'm looking at here is the, looks like the June 26th high at $54.23 on 2011. This thing broke with some volume, went sideways for a while. We shorted a newsletter about the third hit, and then this thing started to fall apart back into those dates. They continue to distribute these stocks. Probably a good example of stocks that everybody knows is going down the tubes. They're so highly short that it takes a long time for a watch pot to boil. This one finally broke out here once and for all on monster volume on 228 2012 last year, and that's been pretty much it. This thing's going to work its way down to nothing, but as long as we continue to see stocks like this and Fossil and Shield that are highly short, just waiting for people to break, any kind of little news like we see today pushes these huge stinkers to the top of the pile. Gold popped up, Symantec, Expedia, Micron, check, and it was CTRP. C-Trip International. This thing is got a lot of short interest in it, perennially for the most part. Seems to be pretty neat, but yeah, not a lot out here. This thing could go back and test the low on C-Trip. We'll look at the rest of them. Flexera still up a little bit. Not a whole lot on the downside out here. Intuit off 0.25%. Microsoft off 0.5%. McDonald's basically flat. So on the NASDAQ 100, you basically have almost everything positive. Even the losers out here are doing a little bit better. So we'll take a look at some of the tests over the last few days. Walmart was very interesting out here. If you are bullish, this is one of the strongest indicators that maybe we've made a short-term bottom. When we look at Walmart, the last major low out here was November 19th, $67.65. You had 23 million shares as you came into that low, within a couple of pennies. Again, I basically used the highest volume within 0.5% of the low to get the most energy into that low. We're kind of turning around last few days. What's this one got? 4 million shares, 5 million, 5.5 million Friday, 7.3, 7.4 on Thursday of last week as we've gone and worked our way through these lows. So maybe for the, at least for the short term, Walmart's starting to make a pullback here and flatten out. The other one, they started running very early this morning, and you could tell there was a short squeeze going on. Was Apple. They had a bunch of people, basically the regular stooges, the usual suspects out there, blowing about Apple, telling everybody that the margins are going to get bigger once again. Not going to happen, but enough to run this market for a little bit. Apple, let's get a current quote on it here, so I have it up. AAPL, where's that at? $530.74. Another one that came into a fairly decent low out here. Not surprising, this thing bounced a little bit. I think most of these stocks are going to be working for a while to gain some energy to break down. Probably going to see that, I would suspect, on Wednesday, maybe on Thursday, as we go longer and longer into this without a deal. A lot of wishful thinking out there. I've never been disappointed when thinking the worst of politicians, so we will think about that. Anyway, Apple, pretty good indication. We saw 45 million shares at 505 get pierced. It closed back above it. That we have a little bounce out of here is not unexpected. Just remember how long Apollo, a stock everybody knew that was going down, took to finally break. We had to wait for 3 cycles. Actually, we shorted it the 3rd cycle. But normally when you see stocks that are in trouble, they don't automatically go down instantly. Walmart, Apple, probably some good indications of some short-term support at the levels. So that we get a bounce today is probably not improbable. Let's see. Another one that I thought was very interesting out here. Looks like we're getting very close to making some lows. You know, it's a penny stock, and they've been such high flyers. But Uranium Resources, URRE, we've got probably a few reactors starting in Japan. They've finally gotten tired of freezing and not being able to cook and all the other things that they can't do because they've got no electricity. They're starting back up their reactors. China's very, very active in both thorium and regular conventional uranium reactors. Those guys are all going to need stuff, and all these uranium companies pretty much into thorium, uranium, been pretty hard hit, but not a bad looking signal out here. We've had 1 million shares, 690,000 shares that, you know, we came in, had a very high volume day that didn't break the previous lows back in here. We're kind of closing out. I wouldn't be buying these right away, but we might see a low finally in some of these companies. We continue to see some stocks that are breaking out without volume. One of the ones that's I'm keeping an eye on is TEX. It's Terex Corporation. We've seen a lot of false breakouts over the last week or two on very light volume. These things tend to get very crashy once they pull back. This thing has gone up against 3.4 million shares from the September 14th high, $26.20. We really haven't, you got kind of the same volume on 12/18, but no juice. Closed back below it. Had about 4 million shares was going against that high. We're going to have about 1.8, 1.9 million shares in that TEX before the end of the day. Keep an eye on it. Everybody's been wanting to buy Skyworks Solution. We had about 4 or 5 phone calls over a matter of months. I was thinking, yeah, can you get an automatic bounce out of this thing? You certainly can. But what you didn't want to see still, and why I'm worried about stocks like Apple actually gaining more energy and finally breaking these lows, is stocks like Skyworks Solution, a major supplier to Apple. November 5th, low out here, $19.21, 9.7 million shares. It got into it, bounced back off with 12 million shares. It's needed to come back and test that 1921 once again on lighter volume. It didn't pierce it with that December 14th low, which means that you still have a fairly good chance. You had higher volume and it didn't prove the point that it's probably going to come back to that 1921 again. Maybe if you get very, very light volume, that may be the end of this. Nice trading range up to about $24. Could get back into that $23.50, $24 gap yet again. Sirius XM Radio, this one pretty much given a signal that it's done for up here, at least until it comes back and fills a gap or maybe a previous low. Came in on October 19th, $2.97, 170 million shares. Got into it with 120 million shares on December 18th. Did go above it, closed below it. Pretty much has put a top in Siri XM Radio for a while. A lot of these companies out here, I actually wrote about this in the newsletter. My daily newsletter is called The Path of Least Resistance. Mostly I have stocks that I pick, but like this morning I'll have 10, 15, 20 stocks in it that are showing me something significant. This one broke above its previous high, another false breakout. A lot of these companies that are in this waste sector get a lot of money from the government, and you want to be watching these very close, especially if you're an intraday trader like the Den. Normally I'm a little longer trader, but a lot of these stocks like Waste Management, some of the other ones out here have been looking very interesting. Anyway, a breakout, no volume, comes right back in. It kind of touches the long-term gap up there, comes right back into the trading range. But most likely this thing is going to go down the last high volume day, which is about 26.50 in that range, in that price range. This thing's probably going to come back in that area. PPH Corporation, this is another one up here, is hanging at the highs. Volume has been kind of lighter up here, and we'll find one out here that looks a little bit better. And Enter Zion Holdings, INXN, which is one of these China companies, I think. Let's take a quick look at them. But this is another one up here, kind of a lighter volume stock, but certainly giving a fairly decent signal, approaching this major high on October 4th, $23.71, 800,000 shares. Got into it on Friday with 320,000 shares. We will be coming back in just a minute. Give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. I'd love to have your phone call before the end of the day. We'll be back in a minute.
Are
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
Monday, so good to me.
The mamas and the papas. Monday. Of course, today's theme is songs about Monday. I'll have to figure out a theme for every day, I guess. But kind of interesting. We've got a caller, and that is Tom from Plymouth, Massachusetts. How you doing today? Oh, didn't make it. He fell out. He was going to look at the TZA, so we'll go ahead and take a quick look at it. $13.35 is the last major low that we've got back in. What we haven't done is actually test that again. Got within about 7 cents of it, and good indication that you're going to come back and hit that once again. The September 14th low out here, 24 million shares. You got within 7 cents of it on lighter volume. You got your automatic bounce. Probably going to pull back into it. Maybe we see that today, tomorrow, Wednesday out here. But you'd like to see that 1335 out here pretty much put an end to the small cap bear funds. It's a 3Xer out here, so maybe you get a little overshoot on Wednesday. I suspect that everybody's going to be probably after Wednesday, probably a rude awakening. I just can't see that they get actually anything done tonight. I figure that they're half in the bag already. Maybe that's the only way they can get something done. Maybe they're all drunk. Maybe they're all drunk and then they can get something done. Maybe there's only one day a year they could get something done because they're all drunk on New Year's Eve. Anyway, we're still at 14.19, 14.20. Kind of hit the new high of the day out here, up 17 points. Markets still having a little gas out here. I continue to think that when this thing breaks, it's going to break to the downside rather strongly. But we'll keep an eye on it out here. Looking at my shorts, continuing to do okay. What else do we have? GPS. This thing actually, not all that bad, but it did have one huge volume day down, and that's the gap GPS. If you're watching on Tiger TV channel 14, what do we have on this? This thing's coming out and it's filling its gap. That gap started on 8/2 of this year with a huge volume day up. It came down on much heavier volume, which you probably had to make a good bet on this thing coming and refilling it. I saw this thing in distribution for a long time, tried to short it. Had to get stopped out on it, didn't catch it on the way back down. But this stock, you could just see the distribution almost all the way through October and November back in here. And, this eventually these things just break. And unfortunately, a lot of times like this one, you had to wait and only be shorted on the earnings date. One of the ones I want to keep an eye on strongly out here, why I don't think this market's going anywhere, is FLIR Systems, FLIR. This is one of these that would be in the sequester. If it was really doing something, it'd be breaking out here, and it's not. It's just hanging out here at these highs. But probably a good one to watch at because it is highly leveraged to government spending out here. Your last major high was December 20th with 1.9 million shares. We've got about a third of that right now. Again, 2.4 billion shares on the New York Consolidated tape. If we were going to break out of any of this, I think we'd be seeing a lot more volume. What we have now is a good old-fashioned short squeeze in a narrow trading range out here. We'll keep an eye on my shorts. We only got about 30 seconds left. I want to appreciate everybody listening to me this year. You all have a safe and wonderful New Year's. And hang on, we're going to have the usual suspects for the rest of the day. Ken at 3, and we'll have we've got somebody in the bullpen. It's probably going to do the 4 to 6 hour, aren't you? Okay, we've got Steve Rhodes in the 4 o'clock hour, or 5 o'clock.